Hello, my name is... Hello, my name is Maxine Annie Jane McDonald Cassian Louise, and I work at Haven Holidays as a saleswoman, and we've got some people coming soon, so it's sell. Let's sell it to them. I've worked here for about 4 years now. They all call me the crazy one at Haven because I am one of the crazy sales ladies, but I'm always helping sell. So we've got people coming soon, and hopefully they want to buy this lovely caravan. Yes, Mike? Yes, Mike, I'll be there in a second, in 2 minutes. Are you Louise?
Yes.
Yeah, come in. I'm Maxine. Nice to meet you. This is the caravan. What are you here? Yeah, come on. Oh, there's someone in here.
Oh, should we leave then?
No, I think they might be running it out.
Are you sure?
If we're quiet, then they
Alright.
won't.
Okay.
I can't do it for the customers. Don't tell anyone. We got bazookas. Oh my god. So this is the living room. We got a kitchen up there.
Okay, hello and welcome to Election Night April 2024. I'm your host, Killian Clark, and of course I'm going to be giving you the results as they come in tonight, but also, more importantly, I'm joined by my man on the map, Lewis Doherty, who is also helping me host this evening. I'm joined by multiple guests from the party this evening. To my right is Corbin Clark, the representative from the Labour Party. Corbin, how are you? Oh right, never mind actually, we won't go to introductions yet, but what I do want to say is straight away we are going to be giving the exit poll reaction from these panelists. So I'm proud to introduce that we have collected the RT data here because we do not have the full results compiled yet from the Electoral Commission, and I'm able to present to you our exit poll this evening. And there we have it. You should be seeing it on your screens now. That is the exit poll given by the RTE as people head out of the polls. They submitted that to their RTE staff correspondent in their area, and this is the data we've compiled. It's giving us 2 seats for Sinn Féin, 3 seats for Fine Gael, 5 seats for Fianna Fáil, and the Social Democrats and Labour are tied at 9 seats here this evening. That is the exit poll. It is not the actual result compiled. And we're going to move over to our guest panelists for some reactions. I want to move over to Nicholas Crawshaw here for his reaction on what he's just seen with regard to the exit poll. Nicholas, how do you feel about the exit poll so far?
Well, look, as I said in the discussion last night, we'll say Fianna Fáil always usually outperforms polls. The poll that I'm seeing right now at the moment, I'm very confident with that poll. You know, it's very much above what we were seeing in the other polls that were coming out earlier on this week. And I think it shows that clearly that Fianna Fáil still holds very much support among the people of Ireland. People still put their trust in Fianna Fáil, and that people still want to see Fianna Fáil in government. That's
a fair point to make, but let's face the reality here, Nicholas. I think that's a 5-seat loss. Correct me if I'm wrong. 5 seats. What do you make of that?
It would be 4.
4-seat loss. What would you make of that? Isn't that a halving of your result?
Well, look, going into this election, both myself and other members of the party, we knew that there would be some losses. We'll say it's very difficult to, in the current political landscape in Ireland, to hold on to 9 seats, particularly when we weren't able to finish our term in government. We were a minority government, and I'm still confident. It was even in terms of the exit poll that we currently have before us. I'm still confident Fianna Fáil will do better than the 5 seats predicted.
You're confident they'll do better, right? I want to move over to one of your adversaries here. If I can move over to James Akeson, who's joining us as a Tin woman today. James, can I just get your reaction on what you've seen there? It's putting Fine Gael really quite low, historically low at this point. We haven't seen these results in months. Do you think this is because you've led Fine Gael for over a year now?
Sorry, you picked a really bad time there. I was just finished my cherry pickle. Look, it's an exit poll. Don't get too caught up in it. I've seen exit polls, for example, I think it was the last election, the exit poll predicted Social Democrats doing really well. And obviously the actual votes kind of fell through. So, at the end of the day, Fine Gael wasn't advertised. I know ones in my own cabinet who didn't even vote in that exit poll. There's so many polls. At the end of the day, there's only one poll that matters. So for you to say that's because you've been leader for a year and all the rest of it, I wouldn't get caught up when it comes to exit polls. They're not always right. Historically, they've actually never really been on spot in the money. So it's all to play for. So I wouldn't rule out a Fine Gael surge yet.
All right. Wouldn't rule out a Fine Gael surge yet. That's words from James Akeson on the drop in the exit poll. I want to move now to your right, James, to Corbyn from the Labour Party. Corbyn, I want to start off with a very straightforward question now. How many seats are you expecting?
Thank you, Killian, for having me on. Well, we'll obviously be very happy with whatever we're given tonight, and we're very thankful for anyone who's voted for us. Obviously, we'd like to see an improvement, and I think that's what the exit poll kind of shows, our hope for change. But obviously, we're not going to speculate over an exit poll. An exit poll is, never fully correct, but we have hope tonight.
It's a very good point, Corbyn Clark. I'm going to move now to the final of our interview panelists, Brian from the Social Democrats, party leader, of course. Brian, how are you?
Very good, how are you?
Absolutely amazing. Brian, look, let's face the reality, like we did with Nicholas, although it's a very different story here on this exit poll, this is a spectacular result for the Social Democrats. They haven't seen the success in months, this kind of success. And the last time they did see the success, they couldn't form government. They had to stage a coup. Do you plan on doing that?
No, that isn't on my bucket list.
Well, look, I want to just gauge your reaction. What's the feeling at party headquarters? What's been developing as that exit poll has come out?
Oh, it's very positive. We're very confident tonight. Obviously, we won't know how well we've done until the final result, but we're very confident that we've got a mandate to govern here from the Irish people.
Yeah, that's a very fair point. I have to ask, Brian, tied with Labour, this just lines up with what you said yesterday evening when RT had you on our new election analysis show, which is called As the Night Unfolds. You said that Labour would probably be your biggest threat, and Fianna Fáil said that Labour would probably be their biggest threat as well. Do you see Labour as a threat or more of a coalition partner?
Look, I'm not getting drawn onto that so early in the night. To be honest with you, let's wait until the final result.
That's a fair point. So there we have it from our panelists so far. None ready to commit to any sort of coalition, none willing to speculate on seat counts. But of course, the two-horse race has sort of a self-fulfilling prophecy, if you will. We're seeing Labour and the Social Democrats tie for first place in this exit poll. But just a reminder, it is just an exit poll. It is in no way the real result or a real result at all. But I just want to quickly move back over to Fine Gael because James Akeson, of course, because there's been a lot on this campaign trail. James, it was supposedly leaked, by the way, that some sort of plans to mark Labour as a terrorist group. That came to fruition in the media. Do you want to say anything about that tonight?
100%. Brian's also within the government, and I'm sure he can also clarify what I'm about to say. First and foremost, those were OSA chats within the government server. Anyone who decided to leak that should know that that is a breach of OSA. It's a breach of such, and they're classified information. There's also, if they had went up and scrolled up, we'd be talking about stuff that is completely to do with national security. So it's very careful when people screenshot things out of OSA chats that if they're going to do it, be smart about it. But look, I guess what I have to say is, Fine Gael has always said, look, a terrorist is a terrorist, whatever. But we would never deem a political opponent, especially the Labour Party, as a terrorist organisation. I don't think that's the way forward. Yes, label individuals, if you have proof and evidence of such, as terrorist organisations, but doing it as an organisation of a political party is not the way to do it. I know me and Brian's both on the same page about that. The entire thing was taken out of complete context. If you had scrolled down, and I've asked C if we can declassify it, he has to go back to me about it, but whatever. It actually says, there's more context. What I'm saying is there's more context about it. That was just completely out of context. It was just a remark made by one person. And
all right.
If you scroll down the rest of the chat, it actually verifies it more. So
I'm going to move back over to Brian O'Kearney from the Social Democrats because he was briefly mentioned in that question. Brian, can you corroborate what James Akeson said this evening?
I think he explained it perfectly, and that's the entire truth behind it. And it was clearly a joke. We're a democracy, and would never intend to do such a thing.
Well, it was said, Brian, that you and Labour partnered in a quote-unquote freedom march against Fine Gael. Is that true? Were you in Glasgow at that march?
I was not at that march, no.
All right. Well, I think we can gauge a reaction there. But I do actually want to move over to Nicholas Crawshaw from Fianna Fáil. Look, Nicholas, you're hearing other parties here, and they're speculating about what may or may not have happened in government, how people may or may not have interacted with designating something like a terrorist group. Do you have any sentiment to share on that?
Well, of course, I do think even a discussion around declaring any party terrorist organization it's just not right. We'll say the people that I'm here sitting with tonight will say we all hold opposing views. We all have different perspectives, but we'll say I would never go around trying to declare that they can't run, that they're terrorists. It's just not right.
Yeah, that's a fair point. I think Lewis is going to correct me if I'm wrong. the man on the map up there. Do we have a seat to declare, Lewis?
Hi, Killian. First of all, everyone, welcome to election night. So glad that we have everyone here in the studio and watching from home. We do have a seat to declare for the first of the night. Sinn Féin holds Ulster. So we're going to go ahead and update that. Oh, not Labour. Hold on. So yeah,
You might be colorblind.
This is going to remain on par with the previous election, as we can look at the last map. They held the last election, so this is only the first seat gain of the night. Sinn Féin holds Ulster.
Yeah, Ulster at the very top.
There we are, right here.
Brilliant. Yeah, it's interesting, Lewis, because last election we saw Ulster divided between Fianna Fáil and Sinn Féin. So I think Ulster kind of indicates who's winning that election, because when Fianna Fáil won the previous election, they won Ulster. You know, when they won the election before that, when the Dáil was incredibly divided, they didn't form government, of course, but they also won Ulster and won a considerable amount of seats. So, do you think we could look at Ulster when they declare that next seat as a kind of indicator for going to form government?
I think that's a good point, because we are also going to have to look at the provinces around Dublin Central, and the provinces nearing, because we have a lot of seat count in that area that could definitely, provide a lot of support for all of these parties. They could pick up a lot in these sections. So I think we're going to have to keep a close eye on that. So, yeah.
All right. Look, I want to move quickly over to someone who's calling in now. We do have a call in. I don't think I told our producers this, but we do have a call in, and it's from a member of Fianna Fáil. So I just want to pick up the phone now and gauge his reaction on the exit poll. Diarmuid, can you hear us? I'll take that as a no. Well, look, we'll sort it out when we get the time. But yeah, West Ulster, or Ulster, sorry, as it's now called, gauges as a sort of an indication as to where the polls are going and how people voted. Because again, it went to Fianna Fáil when they won their 2 elections, but of course Fine Gael and the Social Democrats managed to scrape a government together. And then after that, they won again when Nicholas formed a minority government, I believe. So it remains to be seen what's going on. But it is no surprise how Ulster has declared itself Sinn Féin. We're going to now move on to this next caller to gauge their reaction. And it is, of course, Diarmuid O'Donovan from Fianna Fáil. Diarmuid, what do you think of the exit poll?
Hello. Right. My first observation was that it looks like there's 28 seats now, because 9 plus 9 plus 5 plus 2 plus 3 is 28. So immediately we then know that. Pardon?
Thank you for the math.
Yeah, you're welcome. So immediately we know that there are 15 seats, I suppose, then needed for a majority, as opposed to what currently is 13. And now that it's an even number, it's going to need to be one more than half. So
right.
There's definitely going to be more contention, I suppose, around seats, around who will be winning seats in those areas. But for the exit poll itself, I think that it's a bit of a shock for some people. I don't think Fine Gael has done as well as some people would have expected them to. But then again, I don't blame them for that, because in the last couple of days and in the last week, although Fine Gael have run a campaign where they focused on their policy, you've actually got to look at the logistics of this. Fine Gael is a party that only this week stated that they think the Labour Party should be a terrorist organisation. And as well as that, they're also a party which are putting forward a candidate who isn't a leader, and yet the leader is still clinging on to power, despite having been perfectly able to step down a week or two ago, like I did at the end of my time as Taoiseach. So I think it's clear that James wants to continue having a role in Merrion Street and be Taoiseach in all but name. And so as a result, I really don't blame people for not voting Fine Gael, because it hasn't worked before, and I don't think it will work again.
That's a fair point. I want to move over to James. First of all, I want to say thank you for joining us, Dermot. It's been an absolute pleasure having you call in. Hopefully we see you next time as well.
Yeah, hopefully. Yeah, thanks.
Hopefully. Thank you, Dermot. I want to move over to James Dickinson one more time, James, to gauge his reaction on what's been said by Dermot, talking about, Fine Gael, you should have stepped down a long time ago. You were absolutely capable of doing so, and of course you were ready to deem another party a terrorist organisation.
Well, like I've already said to you, Killian, and Brad verified what I said as well.
I completely hate to interrupt, James, but I think that bell indicates that we have another seat to declare. Lewis, what's going on up there?
Yeah, we got one more incoming for you guys. We're gonna go ahead and announce it, but Fine Gael, Fine Gael is going to hold Connacht.
This is your second election night, by the way.
This is my second election. I'm so sorry, guys. I'm trying to pronounce everything as the yank of this election night, but we can officially say that Fine Gael holds Connacht.
Wow, Fine Gael holds Connacht. Tell us, is there anything to be seen in this, or do you think it's a pretty, regular call to make? I mean, they've gotten Connacht to the last.
Yeah, if we look at the previous map, they held it completely. So, but then again, we look at the last election, and if they held it last time and they had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 seats, maybe that could be an indicator that they'll hold 5 seats again. So we're gonna have to wait and see. Oh my god, why do I look like this?
That's a fair point.
Excuse me. I need to use the restroom.
Right, we're gonna move over. So I just want to say, looking at previous election results, Connacht is a real indicator of how well Fine Gael is going to do. In their so-called election win, it was sort of a tie. It was sort of they got 6 seats in the 22nd Oireachtas about 2 elections ago. They got both seats in Connacht, and that served as a really good indicator of how well they were doing, because they went on to win 6 seats in total. So again, this is a lot like Ulster, I suppose. When they next declare, what was I going to say? When they next declare the other Connacht seat, it'll really indicate how well Fine Gael is doing, and how it lines up with their previous results. I'm going to move over to Corbin Clark. Corbin, look, we've looked at the exit polls so far, and we've gotten 2 declarations: one about Connacht going to Fine Gael, and one about Ulster going to Sinn Féin. Are you worried that the results might be dripping in slowly for Labour? I know we're only 2 seats in.
Well, I mean, it is very early into the night, so I'd still obviously hold out hope. It's only 2 seats that have been declared, but honestly, the areas that have got seats that have just been announced, they always win there. So I'm not surprised about it.
I just want to say, though, we got Dermot O'Donovan to call in, and he spoke briefly about he spoke briefly about sort of declaring, Fine Gael declaring other parties a terrorist organisation. What are your thoughts on that? I mean, what can we gauge from you?
Oh, honestly, I think the idea of it even is absolutely disgusting. Even the talks are just absolutely going against the democratic freedom we hold as a nation, Even now, this is a wee bit cheeky, but even the party talking about it has ties to paramilitaries. So, I just think it was a little bit of a last power grab, honestly.
But that's a totally fair and justified position to take. I want to move over to Brian now. Brian, we've heard from parties this evening about, democracy being at stake, and, parties being designated terrorist threats. I have to say, do you think that there is a fear out there of Fine Gael being in government? Do you think that that's a justified fear?
I don't think it's justified at all from working with them over the past few weeks. They care about democracy as much as any other party, really, because without democracy, we simply cannot exist as a nation or as a community.
We have some, I think, breaking news coming in. Oh no, never mind. I was absolutely lied to. We have no breaking news coming in at all. But yeah, as you've heard, I'm going to briefly speak to the people at home watching. As we've seen the exit poll, which shows it is basically, if the exit poll is something to reflect the actual results, it is basically a two-horse race between Labour and the Social Democrats. As was reflected in the media and the things we heard, it was corroborated by the news reports we saw. So that is sort of not surprising. That being said, we've had one declaration for Ulster, correct? Please, and by the way, at any point when I talk about seats, I would appreciate, Lewis, if you just popped in and said, no, you're wrong, Killian. So I just want to say, we've had one declaration from Ulster on Sinn Féin.
Well, I don't need a chime in to tell you that, and neither do the viewers.
We got a declaration in Ulster from Sinn Féin, and we got one from Fine Gael and Connacht, and those were just not surprising at all. But it's the next seats after them,
right?
That will, Lewis, you've just turned into a zombie again, by the way. It's next seats after them that kind of serves as an indicator. Maybe you should go back to the restroom. It serves as a kind of indicator about, where's it going?
Excuse me, I'm sorry to interrupt you, Killing, but we do have one update. Okay. All right, sorry. The producer in my ears talking to me, everyone. Fine Gael holds Midlands. So they're going to have a gain in the Midlands.
Right. So just looking at that, I don't think the Midlands have been historically a Fine Gael thing.
Well,
I don't
they did have it in the past, so I don't know. This could be an indicator that maybe they're going to have a similar result as to what they had in the past. Maybe this is where the night ends for them. We have no idea.
That's a very fair point. The last time they won it, they went on to win 6 seats. So that could be an indicator of some sort. But I suppose the Midlands is kind of a toss-up area, anyways. It doesn't matter, who wins it. So it could just not be an indicator at all because it is a very divided area. I have to say, Lewis, where do you think we should be paying attention to this evening? Where do you think are going to be the hotspots?
I think the hotspots are definitely going to be around Dublin and South Leinster and North Leinster and Dublin Central. I think we really need to pay attention over there because these are a lot of seats that a lot of parties are going to want because of the ample amount of them. And I think we also need to take a look at the south of the country. None of it's been declared whatsoever. We need to take a look at that. Where is it going to head to? Because if we look at the previous election, it was pretty much all divided amongst each other equally, besides Labour and South Leinster. But nonetheless, it's still, these are important gains for each party to really focus on. And, all the headquarters, they're watching closely tonight, seeing what they have picked up in the past and see where they're going to pick up tonight. And, that's going to be an indicator on how their performance happened. So I think that's something to really focus on.
Well, I just got word in my ear that St. Augustine House is being lit up in red and purple, by the way, emblematic of the two-horse race between Labour and the Social Democrats. So that's absolutely, that's very funny. We haven't seen something like that in a while. I mean, I think the last time something like that happened was we lit up the Oris in red for Tom's election win.
Right.
I did request, when you were Taoiseach, Lewis, I did request them to light it up in rainbow colours, but they said no for some reason. I'm not sure why.
I don't know. I think that's something to definitely be looking into. I think maybe a commission or a committee should be established to really investigate that. It's quite damning, and I'm really hurt personally that I've been told this tonight. I call on you, members of the Dial, and the future government, please investigate this. This is damning. This is crazy. Absolute madness. Injustice to this wonderful country. Okay? The Electoral Commission will be coming after you. The group staff will be coming after you. You're all doomed. Doomed, I tell you.
So true.
Anyways.
Look out for that. Right. I presume when the bell rings, that means we get another declaration. So for now, I just want to move back over to Can I just say I really want to apologize for how old I've gotten. I don't know why I've been charred as Lewis. That's kind of. Have I been charred as Lewis, or is that you up there?
No,
right. Okay. I got a bit insulted there. But anyway, I just want to say apologies for how wrinkly I am on this at the moment. It looks awful. Right. I want I want to move over to James Akeson just for a moment to gauge his reaction on the Conic seat, because there is something really important to discuss there. James, how are you?
Yeah, I'm still here. Yeah.
Absolutely brilliant. Look, James, this next Conic seat is basically going to indicate, are you in the race to win it or not? So I just want to say, do you have a strong sense that it's going to be declared for Fine Gael? Do you think so?
I'd like to think so. Like, we've done a lot for the farmers out there. Obviously I do agree with what Lewis had said there about the Midlands. Traditionally speaking, Fine Gael always had Connacht and South Dublin. And that was always kind of a telltale of how well we were doing stuff. So the fact that the Midlands now is kind of coming into that, it's interesting to see. It'll be interesting to see how it all plays out. But I'm quietly confident we'll do better than Exit Poll.
Or is it just me? Right. We're going to move on over to... I believe we have someone calling in now. My former co-host, Noah, Epic Noah 1358. Noah, how are you doing?
I'm doing okay. How are you?
I'm absolutely brilliant. I just want to ask Noah about the Midlands being a toss-up kind of area. Do you? Traditionally, it's been a battleground between Fianna Fáil and Fine Gael, and it kind of decides who's going to be the more successful. But looking at Connacht more specifically, James there is quite confident that it'll go to Fine Gael. James there is really quite confident. Do you think it'll go to him? Because if it doesn't, that kind of shows they could be suffering this election.
Well, you've basically mentioned it's a battleground. It's a battleground, isn't it? So it's really unpredictable as to who it could go to at the end of the day. What I can say though is, there's really no indication of which way it could lean towards. So I don't think it's right to assume that it's going to go to one party or another. When it could, in fact, end up at another party. Then another party which people might not expect, it might not go to.
That's a very fair point. I want to move to Nicholas now on that subject. My phone just fell off my desk. Right, Nicholas. Look.
Interesting.
Oh, wow. Thanks, Lewis, for that. You didn't even think of me. I was just going to go to an interviewing and you interrupted. What a terrible human being. Right.
I have an update. We have an update in the map. 3 seats gained. Okay, let's take a look at Munster. We have Fianna Fáil with 2, and Ulster 1 with Labour.
Jeez.
So, quite a big jump. Still undetermined which party is going to be taking the lead, but we hadn't seen any seats from Fianna Fáil gained any tonight. So they might be excited, because if we take the last election, they had 2. And so now they are going to be right on track with 2 down in Munster. But here's the change. Labour gains Ulster.
Oh.
So
damn.
I wonder, Cillian, how do we think they're feeling in that gaining a seat tonight?
This is absolutely excellent news. If I was in Labour, I'm going to be honest with you here. This is a battleground that hasn't often, Ulster was, when we were united, traditionally quite Sinn Féin Labour area, given that Labour unified the country. But it hasn't gone Labour in a long time. So just on that note, I'm going to move over to Corbin here, our representative from Labour. Corbin, you have something to be very, very excited about. Is there anything you want to say to us?
Honestly, this is absolutely amazing. This could be a sign for a really good night for us, it's just absolutely great to see.
It is great to see. I have to say, you've won I do call it a battleground, given that Ulster tends to flip a lot. You've won that battleground. Do you think there's a chance for you to gain in the Midlands? Do you think there's a chance for you to gain in Munster like you did last election? Do you think that's a possibility?
I mean, there could be a chance, but it's a stronghold for other parties, so you never know, though, as the night goes on. So
Yeah, that's a very fair point to make. Look, I'm just going to move quickly over to Nicholas Crawshaw because, of course, that seat has traditionally flipped between Sinn Féin and Fianna Fáil, and they've not gained it this time. So Nicholas, are you not a bit wary about that now? You haven't gotten one of these key battlegrounds up here in Ulster. Do you think that's a sign of weakness?
Well, no, because personally speaking, we'll say we're holding on to our key areas. We'll say Munster is usually very strong for Fianna Fáil. The south of the country is usually very strong for Fianna Fáil, and from the seats just shown there now, we seem to be holding on to our core members, our core voters, the people that are regularly turning up and voting Fianna Fáil, those who are always putting their trust in Fianna Fáil. And while we may have lost Ulster this election, I would be still quietly confident for the rest of the night in terms of us picking up seats throughout the country.
That's a fair point.
Killian, we do have another update.
Oh, goodness me. Lewis, go ahead.
They're rolling in quick, ladies and gentlemen. We are seeing 2 gain seats. Sorry, they hold 1 seat. They gain a seat, the Social Democrats in Shannon.
Oh, wow.
In Shannon. So if we look at the map, there's really no clear winner. I mean, we have Fianna Fáil with 2 seats, Social Democrats with 2 seats. Recapping all of this, ladies, guys. Fine Gael with 2 seats, Sinn Féin with 1, Labour with 1. So, what the heck is going on? You know, it's like it's the voters are gonna eventually let us know, but it's, you know, typically sometimes in the beginning of the night we can be like, okay, yeah, they might, this specific party might be at an advantage here, but now not so much.
Yeah, that's a very fair point. I have to say, we saw one battleground in Ulster be won by Labour, but now we're seeing another very key battleground. We've only ever had one election, I believe, with 3 Shannon seats. And this, God's sake, this is the first to have 3 Shannon. This is the second, I should say, to have 3 Shannon seats.
Killian, can I just say your face is looking very interesting?
I don't know, Killian. Maybe you need to use the restroom, but I mean, you're right. If we look at the past election, looking at the next election map, it was split between Fianna Fáil, Social Democrats, and the Labour Party, and now we are seeing the Social Democrats pick up another seat on top of the one that they already held. So it's going to be interesting, and I think Noah has something to say. Let's go to Noah.
Yeah, I was just about to say, Noah, calling in here to RT headquarters. What do you make of this key battleground going to the Social Democrats?
It's good news for them. You know, I think they'll be optimistic at the very most. Because if they can win a key battleground like that, you know, it might be a sign of what the direction might be. But I think it's also unfair to say that, you know, other parties are completely out of the race. You know, you'll have some parties or holding seats that they had last term. But to be fair, it is crucial that they gain other seats as well from other parties and the battleground areas. So I think what's crucial for them is, you know, if they can, if other parties can retain other seats in other areas as well as gain a few here and there, then, you know, I don't think it's fair. I don't think it's fair to say, you know, the Social Democrats are definitely going to win when, you know, the other parties are still with a chance.
I think we have a tweet to look at here now. If you want to pan to that, we do have a tweet to look at. Yeah. There we have.
Oh my God.
Pauline Murphy. She says, "We want, on behalf of the leader of the Band Belly Dance Organisation of Ireland, will coup the government of Ireland if no one wins, and we want CBS's The Talk cancelled for August 14th when it had belly dance."
So true, so true.
I think Pauline raises a brilliant point. Look, jump scare. Looking back at that battleground, though, I mean, can we stop panning to Pauline Mercier, please? Looking back at that battleground, though, I mean, it's traditionally been between Labour, the Social Democrats, and I want to say Fianna Fáil. And
with that, Killian, we have another update for you.
Update.
So if we look back into the live seats, Sinn Féin has a seat in Dublin Central, and Fianna Fáil one in Dublin South. So that is Dublin Central.
Right. Okay.
And Dublin South.
I want to move over to Nicholas here one more time. Actually, no, I don't. Sorry, I want to go straight over to apparently they're both holes? Question mark. I want to move over to Brian. Brian, look, the Social Democrats were expected to do well in Dublin, and initially they probably would have gotten in on the first count if the wave, the majority Seaquatic looking wave had come in. Do you think that these first counts in Dublin going to Sinn Féin and Fianna Fáil is a sign that perhaps the Social Democrats won't do as well as we thought they would?
Look, we're like, this election's very early, and I've been through enough elections to not get drawn on this so early in the night. So maybe ask me again later, and I'll have a proper response for you.
All right. If the producers could please kill those people who've walked themselves in here somehow? Question mark.
Seems like some people need to use the restroom.
Very good point. What a liner. Right. Okay, we're stop showing them, please. Stop.
Oh my god. Gosh. Jesus Christ.
I want to move over to James Aitchison here, because James, by the looks of it, that battleground in Shannon is going to the Social Democrats, that battleground in Ulster is going to Labour. What do you expect is going to happen? Do you think that Connacht is going to replicate that and go back to Fine Gael to show, Fine Gael wave will begin?
I'd like to think so, yeah. I think it's still obviously too early to tell. There's still plenty of seats to be called. But you can kind of see a pattern starting to develop a little bit. Now, whether that pattern's followed or not, we don't know. I always think Dublin's the one to watch. Dublin kind of sets the tone for what the rest of the country kind of has went. So it'd be interesting to see how Dublin North, Dublin South will go, because those are the real telltales, I always think, especially Dublin South.
Yeah, that's a fair point to make. I want to move over to Nicholas here. Look, Nicholas, in that kind of I use the word battleground again here in Dublin South. You did, I want to say, pretty well in getting that seat. What do you make of that? Do you think the combination of your voter base in Cork remaining with Fianna Fáil and the base in Dublin South going to Fianna Fáil, is that a good combination? Is that a sign of success?
Of course, we've always been very strong in terms of Dublin South. I think it's been a long time since we've ever lost a seat there, being honest. And I think it's a good sign for Fianna Fáil in terms of the night ahead. The one thing I do need to raise, though, is that whichever parties get into government tonight, I do think that they need to focus on this pandemic, which is currently breaking out across Dublin Castle, and that should be a key priority going forward.
Yeah,
but no, within Fianna Fáil, we're remaining confident. I still think that we will be looking at a good result tonight, and we are confident.
That's a very fair point to make. Right, I thought we had some seat declaration to go to. I suppose not, maybe. So in light of that, I want to move over to Corbin here, who again has given rise to this terrible pandemic. Corbin, you don't look okay. How are you feeling?
I feel absolutely vile, being honest with you.
Do you need to use the restroom?
Do you need the restroom?
Yeah, maybe.
I have to ask, look, things seem to be going really quite well for you in terms of that Ulster battleground, I should say, going to Labour. So I just simply have to ask this time, do you really think that there's a chance Labour could pull ahead of the Social Democrats in this election?
Well, obviously, I do love Ulster. I have to start with that. But, there's...
They all call me the crazy.
Sorry, one second. Basically, yeah. It's really good to see again. I don't know, honestly. I'll just have to see how the night ends up, honestly. I'm going to be honest with you. But honestly, it's looking good so far,
Yeah, that's a fair point to make. I'm going to move over to James Aitchison on this. just to gauge his view one last time before we go to another count. James, you got that Battleground in the Midlands. That did go to Fine Gael, if the map up there is correct. So I really do have to ask, are there any people you're willing to rule out of a coalition this evening?
Well, like, I don't know, Killian, to be honest with you, you've been Taoiseach, right?
Yeah.
Like, you know yourself, like, you just don't call out things, and you never rule out stuff, because you never know what way things will end up. So I don't think it's wise right now to rule out a certain party or anything. You never know what way the seats will end up, and you could literally be forced. Well, it's either a ridiculous minority or have to go with this party. So like that's the approach I've always taken to it. Like I've talked to Jesse, I've been very honest with Jesse. I've been like, look, like us and Labour, we have very, very different policies. Like on a personal level, we get on fine, but when it comes to policies, we're very different. Now, whether government with that such difference could work or not, I don't know. You know, I get on with people in Labour, all the rest of it. Like personally, it's fine. Policy wise, I'm not sure how that would work out. I know Corbyn would probably agree with me when I say that.
Yeah, Corbyn, you've heard what James has said there. When it comes to policy, parties can sometimes come to agreements. Are you part of that? Do you agree with that? Do Labour agree with that?
Well, obviously, the programme of government decides at the end of the day. Well, I mean, we obviously have options, but we wouldn't obviously rule anyone out if we were to go into a coalition.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. I'm going to be honest with you, with people here though. Brian, you seem to be part of this 2-horse race. I do think Brian is with us. Yes, he is. You're part of this 2-horse race. Are you willing to rule out any single party in terms of entering government?
Naughty things happen in this bedroom.
I'm going to. You are with us, aren't you, Brian? Sorry, could be technical difficulties. I'll take that as a no then, and I will move over to Noah to our caller in to discuss the results. You there, Noah? That is also a no. Okay, well then I'll move over to Nicola.
I'm here.
I'm here. Noah's here. Go on, Noah. Tell us a bit about the results pouring in. What do you make of them?
Well, funnily enough, as you can see, I'm on the map right now. I've officially removed Lewis from power.
Absolutely brilliant.
I've actually got 2 new seats to declare here, so you may notice these 2 seats down here highlighted in red.
Oh wow!
Those are going to Labour. Those are in South Leinster. Yes, my pronunciation's off. So these 2 red seats are projected to go to Labour. We can confirm. So that means that Labour have gained these 2 seats here. So that's going to be a good sign for them.
Are those the 2 declarations, by the way?
Pardon?
Are those the 2 declarations? I'm confused at what I'm looking at.
Yeah. These are
Okay.
These are the two.
Okay, absolutely brilliant. Tell us a bit about what that means, though. What do you think that indicates?
Personally, what I think of it, you know, Labour's. I think it's starting to show that Labour's starting to gain a bit of rhythm now. It's starting to show, they're starting to pick up the pace a little bit, and I think, if they pick up the pace a bit more, I can definitely see them gaining a few more seats around here somewhere. But you never know though. I mean, there's still all these seats to declare, so all bets are on still.
That's a very fair point. I want to move over. Actually, before I do, I just want to talk about past elections and how this lines up with them. South Leinster has been divided for as long as I can remember. Around 2 elections ago, it went between Labour and Fianna Fáil, and the election after that, Labour got no seats in South Leinster, despite it being their stronghold. Really, it went between Fine Gael and Fianna Fáil. But this time, correct me if I'm wrong, that's 2 seats for Labour in South Leinster. 2 whole seats is what it says on that map. That's an absolutely excellent record to have. So I want to move over to Corbyn Clark on this. Corbyn, look, your party has just won 2 seats in South Leinster, which hasn't been done in a long time. What do you make of that?
Honestly, it's absolutely amazing. We are absolutely buzzing. We're really, really glad that we've kept those seats. And I just think it shows that there could be you know,
That's a
more
fair
chance
point.
of us winning more, if
That's
that's
a fair
even possible.
point.
We hope for it anyway.
I want to move over to Nicholas, who's had a seat in South Leinster the past 2 elections at least, and for a very long time before that. Nicholas, if this result is correct, it shows that you have lost the Fianna Fáil stronghold in South Leinster. What do you make of that?
Well, look, the people vote however they wish, and I respect their vote within the constituency.
Mm.
However, as I did say slightly earlier on, we'll say Fianna Fáil is still holding onto its core territory or core constituencies. We'll say we still continue to maintain our 2 seats in Munster. We still continue to maintain our seat in South Dublin, and I think that it'll truly come down to Dublin in terms of the seats, in terms of how the parties will perform. That the Dublin seats will be the deciding factor in this election, because they hold the most sway in this election.
That's very true. Okay, so I want to move over to Brian here. Brian, South Leinster has been an option for the Social Democrats for a while. It's because it has been a battleground. But unfortunately, it's not come to fruition this time. You still haven't gotten a Social Democratic seat in South Leinster. Do you think this is a failure or just another status quo result? If Brian is with us. Okay, well, I'll take that as a no, and we will swiftly move over to James Akeson on this one. James, what we've seen from the past, like, I want to say 3 battlegrounds, the only positive results for Fine Gael have been in Connacht and Midlands. Why on earth is that, do you think?
I mean, traditionally, south of the country has always been, Fianna Fáil, Labour, Social Democrats sometimes gaining there. I don't actually ever remember a time Fine Gael ever really had a seat south of the country, in the southern constituencies and stuff. Could obviously correct me if I'm wrong. But yeah, like, there's no red flags for me yet. Like I said, Dublin South, the real telltale. And if we get that second seat in Connacht is another telltale. I think if we have Connacht under control and we get that next seat, we'll be sitting online with the exit poll. If we can try and get then a seat in Dublin South, it kind of tells tale, then kind of sets the tone. But yeah, so Connacht, the second seat, and Dublin South is really, if you don't see any seats for Fine Gael in Dublin South, you're not going to see any in Dublin North. You're definitely not going to see any in Central. You go to the Midlands, for example, Fine Gael last time only had 1 in the Midlands. I highly doubt if you don't get Dublin South or any in Dublin that you're going to get a second seat in the Midlands. And if you don't get any in Dublin, I highly, highly doubt you get the second one in Connacht. So I guess it's all very much about that Dublin South. Like, obviously, if we get that seat in Connacht, that 2 seats in Connacht, that's Connacht full. And that'd be great. Because you're sitting in power with the expo and stuff. But yeah, it's very much still up to play for. It's very interesting to see how it'll go. But yeah, like I said, Connacht and Dublin South are really the ones to watch for Fine Gael.
Sorry about that. Mic broke for a bit. So I just want to move quickly over to what we're seeing on the map again. If the camera wants to pan up there, or if we're in the middle of a count, do not do that. But basically, from what we're seeing up there, it seems to me that a picture is being painted of a rather successful night for the Social Democrats and Labour, which was, as predicted, in the polls. So I want to really, really quickly move back over to. I don't think Brian is with us. Is Brian with us? If you're with us, Brian, I'll move over to you.
Can you hear me now?
He's with us. Hello, Brian. How are you?
Kelly, I'm going to have to interrupt you because I got a seat chance to
Go
give
ahead.
in. All right. So, excuse me, my voice is playing up at the moment. So, if we can go here on the map, as you can see, Connacht, that is now a second seat that's going to Fine Gael, and Shannon, Labour have gained the third and final seat down there. So that means that Connacht is now all blue, and Labour have managed to gain the third Shannon seat. So we should have more seats coming in within the next 15 minutes, I project, from what I'm hearing. So do keep an eye out for that.
Will do. Right. I really want to get reactions on that because that's an absolutely excellent result. Is Brian with us? I thought I heard him there. Brian, are you here? I thought it was working.
Yes.
Yes, Brian, you're with us. Absolutely excellent. So look, you've gotten out of the 3 seats in Shannon, that little battleground down there, you've gotten 2 of them. That's an excellent result for the Social Democrats. What do you make of that?
I just feel like we're stunning for a good night. Just keep looking forward to the rest of the night.
Absolutely excellent. I want to move over to just looking at what's been declared at the moment. I want to move over to Actually, no, I want to move over to James Akeson because what we're seeing up there, James, is those 2 Connacht seats go to you. That's a huge indicator of success for you. What do you make of that?
Yeah, like I've literally just said, Connacht is always it's one of the telltales for Fine Gael. So obviously we've got those 2 now. We've got one in the Midlands. I think that's it. Is that right, Killian?
Yeah.
Yeah, so we're sitting on 3. So we're on the exit poll at the moment. So realistically, Dublin South traditionally, as I'm sure you're aware, has always been kind of leaning towards Fine Gael. Fine Gael's always picked up a seat there. Unless you've had a really bad election where we've had 1 or 2 seats. Fine Gael has always traditionally picked up seats there. So the fact that we've picked up 1 in the Midlands, as well as now Connacht as well, it kind of leaves that stronghold off Dublin South kind of up for game. So, if you're to look at trends and you're to look at the way that seats kind of lean, whether that's leaning right, leaning centre, kind of a throw up seat, or if it's leaning left, like most of the southern counties would be, you're then looking at Dublin South being like, right, okay, well, if this is the trend that we're seeing going across the country, then surely Fine Gael will get a seat in Dublin South. That would be the logic behind it. Now, obviously, we could be capped at that, but that would be my logic behind it, would be that Fine Gael should get a seat in Dublin South, if not 2.
Okay, I want to move over to Corbin Clark from the Labour Party here. Corbin, what's happened in Shannon was sort of what it looks like to be, was a battle between the Social Democrats and for Labour. And what it looks like to me was sort of, that the Social Democrats have kind of pulled ahead of you in that battleground, because that was Fianna Fáil's original seat, I believe, and it's went to the Social Democrats and not to Labour. What do you think of that?
Well, I don't really know what to say exactly, but it is good that, I just have to reiterate, it's very good that we got Ulster still.
That's a fair point to make.
Still very happy about that.
That's a fair point to make. I want to move over to Nicholas about this, I believe. Look, Nicholas, it's becoming a bit of a slow night for Fianna Fáil, isn't it? I mean, what reason, possibly, should Fianna Fáil have to be excited?
Well, look, we still there are still many seats to declare tonight, and we'll say Fianna Fáil has always done fairly well inside in Dublin, and I do think that tonight we will
hold it right there. I've got some good news for Fianna Fáil there.
Oh, excellent news coming in.
So as you can see here, Fianna Fáil have managed to gain a seat within the good place of the Midlands. Yes, I know, British saying of me saying that. You know how it is. So the Fianna Fáil have gained the Midlands, and as you can see here on the right of that is North Leinster. I don't know how you say Irish people say it. I'm just British, so I'm just going to go how I say it. Labour and the Social Democrats have both gained a seat in there. So that is good news for both parties there, and we should be having more within the next few minutes or so.
Thank you for that, Noah. We're going to move down to Nicholas after that reaction. Nicholas, just breaking there, you've just won a seat in the Midlands. What do you make of that?
Well, winning any seat is it's great to hear. I'm not going to go against that, but as I said, like Fianna Fáil, we're still very much confident in terms of Dublin. There is a Fianna Fáil voter base there, and I do think that we will still pick up a number of seats within Dublin. However, currently we within Fianna Fáil HQ, from what I'm getting on my phone, things are very much looking up. I don't think we're going to see the fallout as much as we thought. and the confidence within the party is building, and the confidence within the voters, I think, are building behind Fianna Fáil.
Well, look, let's say it stops now. Let's say that you get no more seats, and that 4 is your glass ceiling of sorts. Do you see that?
Is that what you're predicting?
Well, no. This is just a hypothetical scenario I want to give. Let's say that
Okay.
that's your glass ceiling, right? That's your glass
Yeah.
ceiling for the fall does not gain an extra seat this evening. Do
Okay.
you see that as an event in which you would step aside?
Well, look, I technically stepped aside about I think it's about 2 to 3 weeks ago at this point, and I got returned as Fianna Fáil leader because the party had the confidence behind me. And I think that I still have the confidence of the party behind me that to lead them into a future term within the Dáil. And I think going forward, I would still continue to have the support of Fianna Fáil, of the party members, of the TDs, of the shadow ministers.
Right, that's a fair enough. That's a fair enough point to make. I want to pivot over though to what we actually see on the map here, which is, of course, I just want to reiterate that what Fine Gael has is starting to shape up to be similar to last election, except what appears to be different is they have that seat in South Leinster. What I want to say though is that Nicholas already has regained his 2 seats in Munster, and of course he lost that one in the Shannon. So for Fianna Fáil, it is a bit of a drier night compared to other parties, but the night isn't over yet. Labour has an absolutely strong start in that, yes, they've not gotten that seat in Shannon that they usually do get, but the Social Democrats picked it up from Fianna Fáil. That being said, the count in Munster is not done, which usually does bring forward a seat for Labour. The count in North Dublin isn't done, which usually brings forward a seat for Labour. And of course, the counts in South and Centre of Dublin, they've not concluded yet, so it remains to be seen. But also, we will have more counts coming. And that being said, I think the one we need to look at is North Leinster, because that is usually, typically speaking, the Labour stronghold. And that will indicate to us whether or not it's going to be a strong night for Labour. If they get more than 1 seat, then they're already on a roll. But just
Gillian, I'm just going to butt in real quick. This is not a seat count. I'm just going to make a quick correction here. I apologise to the viewers. You may have heard me say earlier that South Leinster was these 2 seats for Social Democrats and Labour. In fact, it is not. It is not, due to my absolute incompetence and in speech. It's actually North Leinster, not South, that Labour and Social Democrats have won in there. So I do apologise for that absolute diabolical incompetence. But yeah, back to you.
You're all right. Look, the North Leinster typically is a Social Democratic seat. They usually get one up there. So I want to move to Brian, who I think is alive with us again. Brian, you've gotten that seat back, but those people you feared, Labour, the people you feared the most, it went to Sinn Féin, I think. I think it went to Fianna Fáil, actually, rather, the last election in North Leinster. And before that, it went to Fianna Fáil as well. So do you think that this going to Labour shows that they actually are a threat to you, Brian?
Well, they already were a threat to us. We've already said they were our main threat, but look, I still think we're having a very good night. Can't remember the exact number of seats we are, but I believe we're close to retaining all 4 that we gained in the last election, and hopefully can make some solid gains off that.
That's a very fair point to make. Pivoting towards James Akeson now. James, that count in North Leinster, it didn't really come to fruition what perhaps Fine Gael had been hoping. You know, you've been in leadership a while now, and I don't think we've seen Fine Gael go North Leinster once. Do you think it's a bad sign that it's not done at this time, or do you think that's just another status quo seat count? I think James Akeson is actually away from his keyboard at the moment, which is just absolutely excellent. I'm going to move over to Corbin Clark here. Corbin, look, that North Leinster seat, which was a battleground for you, that's gone red. That's actually gone red. And many probably anticipated it would stay with Fianna Fáil, but it didn't. So although that might be bad news for Nicholas, unfortunately, that's really rather good news for you. What do you make of that?
Well, we are very happy we gained a seat. You know, the people have put the faith in us, which we're very glad of, obviously. But yeah, we're really happy about it.
That's a very fair point to make. I have to ask, where are you TD for, if you can remember?
If I can remember, I honestly couldn't tell you. I can't remember what I had for dinner tonight. I'm nodding my heads right now.
I was gonna ask you like if you had gotten your seat yet, but I swear you were Munster. I think that count's not done yet though, so don't worry. I want to move over. Actually, no, I want to stay with you for a moment. Actually, so you won that battleground. You won the West Ulster, the Ulster battleground.
Yeah.
You have gotten that stronghold in South Leinster as well, but that Shannon thing was a bit of a loss. So are you going to be looking at Dublin and Munster now? How many seats do you think you're going to get before the night ends?
Honestly, it is looking good for us, but I honestly couldn't give you like a really like I can't predict. I really can't.
That's a fair point to make. Is I don't think James Aitken is back yet, so I'm going to pivot back over to Nicholas there, who's our good man to speak. Nicholas, look, everyone else seems to have their eyes on Munster and Dublin. So which do you think is going to yield better results? You've already gotten 2 seats in Munster. Do you think you're going to get more?
We'll say like personally thinking, I would be suspecting that we would pick up another seat in Dublin. I think it would be difficult for us to pick up another seat within Munster in this Southern constituency. I think Fianna Fáil does have the voter base within Dublin to pick up another seat to align us with the exit polls. And I would be confident in terms of Fianna Fáil going into the next term in terms of having its seat count.
That's a fair point to make. So what we saw basically was Fianna Fáil pick up a seat in the Midlands. They got there 2 in Munster, which was what they got last election. Yeah. I have to say, Nicholas, there hasn't been really a gut punch to you yet so far. Going through these counts, you've kind of been alive. You only really lost a seat in North Leinster and Ulster, but of course those are just little areas. They're not those big battlegrounds. I suppose Ulster was, but you haven't gotten that gut punch yet. I have to say, in the event that you, again, let's talk about this glass ceiling scenario where you do not get above those 4 seats for whatever reason, I don't know, hypothetically speaking, are you willing to put those 4 seats into a government, or do you think that's too little? You'd rather stay in opposition?
Well, personally, we have to look at what the other parties receive. We can't be saying that we're going to go into government, we're going to stay out of government. It depends on what the other parties receive, what other parties need to, and in terms of us, what we need to get into government as well. Like, if Fianna Fáil has always been, under my leadership, has been bipartisan. We will work with any party who wants to work for the betterment of Ireland. We would never rule out any coalition partners, even Sinn Féin, who I'm very surprised are getting seats to selection.
I'm going to push you on that, though. I really want to push you on that. I mean, let's say you're offered Taoiseach and 2 ministerial spots, which would be a big deal for a party with 4 seats, because that's 3 seats gone onto the front benches. Would you take that deal?
Well, again, like we have to review that. Like it's not just my own personal decision. I would have to go back to the Fianna Fáil membership. I'd have to go back to the Fianna Fáil caucus, and right. I would have to see. First of all, what is the party we're going to government with? Do they align with the Fianna Fáil values?
Let's say it's Labour.
Well, in that regard, we'd have to look at what we'll say in terms of what compromises can be made. Because I know myself would say, in terms of Labour policy and Fianna Fáil policy, we do differ on many areas.
But what areas?
Thank you very much, Killian. We'll say, we do differ on. We'll say, like, in terms of the business sector, I don't believe they put forward a number in terms of, we'll say, in the same regard as Fianna Fáil, that Fianna Fáil would be supporting businesses in terms of financial gain, that they would be promoting businesses, and we plan to raise that. Last time we were in government, under my government, we sponsored businesses who got the spotlight achievement. They were getting 75 Robux, sorry. But under the current manifesto, we want to raise it to 150. is that something Labour want to do? Is that something whoever we want to go into government with, whoever it may be, is that something they want to participate in? In the same regard, again, under my government,
I apologise, Nicholas. I'm going to have to interrupt you there because I got more seats to declare.
Okay.
So the main seats we're calling here is the seats in question are Dublin. So I'll go from top to bottom here. So I'll actually try and speak this time without showing my true incompetence, but I'm known for that, so you never know. Anyway, so from top to bottom, Dublin North, Labour, 2 Labour seats, 1 Social Democrat seat in there. So essentially, Labour have basically won the majority of Dublin North seats. In the middle here, Dublin Central, Social Democrats and Fianna Fáil. Sinn Féin. Sorry, the colour greens came mixed up. Sinn Féin, I believe, is the one gaining the seats there. So Social Democrats and Sinn Féin have both gained a seat in Dublin Central, and in Dublin South, Fine Gael have gained 1 seat and Fianna Fáil have gained 1 seat there. But there's one more seat that's still yet to be declared. I'm still waiting for further clarification on that. There's no official projection on that yet, but I should have it coming to you very soon.
That's a fair point. I have to ask, Dublin was a bit of a battleground, right? And Labour have, historically speaking, only ever really gotten, if they were lucky, 1 seat in Dublin North. They didn't get it they got 1 in the last Dáil, they didn't get any in the Dáil before that. This is an absolute triumph for them. What do you think this is a bit of a seismic shift in politics? Do you think we could genuinely see a win for Labour?
Well, based off last election in Dublin, as you can see on the map here, you can see here that Fianna Fáil in Dublin North, Fianna Fáil, Labour and Social Democrats both had 1 seat each within Dublin North. In Dublin Central, that's pretty much unchanged from last election. And in Dublin South, Fine Gael have gained 1 seat and Fianna Fáil have gained 1 seat, but the other seats are also in doubt. So, you never know with these type of things. You never know with these types of things. It's all to play for within areas like these, especially when you have a lot of seats to play for in areas like these.
That's a fair point to make. I want to move over immediately to Corbin Clark. I'm really sorry about that, Nicholas. Corbin, look, you were about to be deemed as a terrorist organisation, and you've only gone and swept up the lead in the election so far. How do you feel?
We are absolutely ecstatic. We're doing backflips, we're doing all sorts. We are really, really happy about this result. Especially, God bless the people of North Dublin, obviously. The people have put the faith in us.
Wait, and what about the constituencies that voted against you? Do you not want to bless them?
Oh no, we will bless them, obviously. But right now we're blessing North Dublin. So
that's brilliant. That's absolutely brilliant. That's absolutely just ecstatic. Wow. You said you were doing backflips. Is that in real life? Is that IRL? Can you do backflips IRL?
I can. Would you like to see a backflip?
No thanks.
I
want to ask about coalitions again, because I'm really pushing you for this one, right? I want to know who is going to be your ally in the next Dáil.
Well, obviously we'll see when the night is over, because we obviously will not rule anyone out because ministerial roles and all that. But we want to make sure there's an active government with policies. But if we do go into coalition with someone, possibly...
I do apologise. I've got more seats to declare.
Ooh.
This is, however, this is not in the pending Dublin seat. This is, however, in Munster. So, as you can see here, it has changed. So, Social Democrats, they've gained a seat in Munster along with Labour. So that means Fianna Fáil have gained 2 seats within Munster, and Social Democrats and Labour have shared the remaining seats. So I'm still waiting for clarification as to the Dublin seat, but I'm from my sources, we're hearing that it should be coming within the next 5 minutes or so.
That's absolutely excellent. Wow. So the Dublin South seat will obviously determine who can sweep up that last one and bump up their numbers a bit. But at the moment, again, I could be wrong. It looks like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. No matter who picks up that last seat, Labour has taken the lead. Labour has gotten the largest amount of seats this election. I think RT is ready to call it. We're not ready to label who's forming government, and there are no majorities this election. But thankfully, RT are able to call it. This is a Labour win this election. This is a Labour win. No party is going to be able to turn us around unless we have recounts. I've not heard anything in my ear about those. I think the Electoral Commission have gotten it right this time. Labour have won this election. RT are calling it officially. However, that last seat is going to really determine the makeup of government, because if Labour do not want to go into government with the Social Democrats, which I'm going to ask Brian and Corbyn about in a moment, about coalitions and whatnot, if they don't want to go in with the Social Democrats, they're going to need a party with plenty of seats. So if that is Fianna Fáil, who's on 4, well then that's just excellent for Fianna Fáil, you know? That'll help them bump up numbers in a coalition basis.
Oh, Killian, I've just got information. So, ladies and gentlemen, you may be wondering, the Dublin South seat, we can officially say that that second seat is going to none other than Fine Gael, as you can see there. So, the landscape of Dublin has only changed by 1 seat. Labour have gained a seat within Dublin overall, but the rest remain unchanged. So that, I believe, is all the seats gone. And this, we can say, is the final result. So as you can see here from top, Sinn Féin and Labour in that constituency there, I don't even remember what it's called. 2 Fine Gael's seat over here. Munster, the 2 Fianna Fáil seats, and then Social Democrats and Labour. I don't know why there's a dark blue, actually, but let me go ahead and change that.
Have you changed the wrong one? Is that a Social Democratic seat you've just made light blue?
I don't actually know. Let me go ahead and...
You've just changed Shannon.
Oh God, yeah, okay. No, I am incompetent. Allow it.
Ignore it.
Yeah, I thought that was dark blue for a second, but then again, I am colorblind, so
it's just not shiny, I think.
But no, but in all seriousness, compared to last election, I'd say, there's not really much difference. I mean, there's a bit of a difference here and there, but I wouldn't say, that much has changed in, areas like Dublin. But Munster has definitely changed up. I can a little bit. Actually, has it? No, I don't think it has actually, because no, it hasn't. It's just looks a bit different order. Yeah. But no. Overall, though, compared to last election over here, and the live seats and the seats over here, you can see here that there's only a small change, with such as Labour gaining a seat within Dublin, but and also in North Leinster, I think that's called, absolutely bottling it yet again, like my football team did, but we won't talk about that anyway. Anyway.
Yeah,
but no, this is the we can officially say that this is the final outcome of this election, and do with that what you will.
Thank you. That's historic. So James Higson has unfortunately departed, I believe. It's either that or he's disconnected. But
I'm disconnected.
Oh, you're here, James. Well, I want to move to you for the result first. We don't have a Sinn Féin representative, by the way. Nobody was available, but if there was, I'd go to them first. I want to move to you, James. It seems to me you've just scraped the 5 seats, James. What do you make of that?
I think it's great that Fine Gael, we had 5 seats last election, with 5 seats this election. We've kept the seats that we had. There's no gains, but I don't think maintaining the status quo is a bad idea. And I think we had a lot against this election, and I think it's quite respectable that we can come out of it, stay in the same seats. So it'll be interesting to see the voting, how many votes we've got, if it's been up or down or whatever. But I
Do you
think
have any
he's setting up
predictions?
in terms of a coalition.
Votes.
Votes. I don't know. I think Social Democrats, like, they've done a lot, and I think they may have taken away a bit from our base a little bit. Fianna Fáil, obviously, where here's the last election, have dropped a little bit. Sinn Féin did a lot better than I think a lot of people expected, considering. So that maybe is testament to their voter base. But yeah, like, I'm happy enough. 5 seats is very respectable, considering that was quite a tight election. It was quite, campaign was quite fierce. So I still think it's quite respectable, and hats off to Max. He did a lot of work. And yeah, it'll be interesting to see what happens in terms of coalitions. But yeah,
absolutely. I'm going to move to Nicholas next, which Nicholas, look, we're close friends. I do feel a bit bad for you, Nicholas. Is there anything you want to say about the 4 seats you got this election?
Well, it wasn't what I was expecting. I'm not going to lie. I did feel that Fianna Fáil would perform better than the 4 seats than we got. And if you can just would you be able to come back to me in 2 moments?
Go ahead.
I have an announcement to make.
I absolutely will go back to you in 2 moments. I want to go to Storm Brian. Storm Brian, are you with us in the studio here?
Yes.
Absolutely brilliant, Brian. Look, I'm not going to lie to you. This is an absolutely seismic shift in politics. You've broken the glass ceiling for the Social Democrats, and you've managed to pull them up to 6 seats. What do you make of that?
I just feel like, especially seeing in my previous results as leader of the party, that this is a huge relief that I've been able to get what is truly my own mandate, and and prove that myself I can do it. I want to pay tribute to everyone who's voted for us, everyone who's worked, our Kiwi candidates, and I don't think anybody should be putting this as a defeat. We've worked really hard here, and we've accomplished lots for the Social Democrats.
That's a very fair point to make. I want to go to Noah now, who seems to have a bit of I think you have a prediction in here, Noah?
Yeah, I just wanted to give my opinion because I don't know if this has been talked about much, but well, I think it has. But in terms of coalition predictions, now that we've officially confirmed the results, I just want to mention here about potential coalition partners, if you will. Oh, hello, you just
go ahead.
Decided to well up here. You just magic.
Yeah.
Anyway, so coalition predictions, right? I honestly think that I think we can see a potential government with Labour in it because as you can see here, they are in a pretty good bargaining position to be able to get into government. But the question is, who would they go into government with? Would it be Fianna Fáil? Unlikely, because with the seats they have, which are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I think 8. 8, and with Fianna Fáil, who have 4. I mean, it brings to an overall 12, and compared to the other parties, I don't know the exact numbers of the other parties. I think it could be a risk worth taking, but you never know at the end of the day. I mean, you did mention something about that earlier. If they had 3 members in government and then 1 backbencher, they wouldn't have any backbenchers, so it would kind of confuse things. But then again, if it's worth potentially going into government with Fianna Fáil, regardless of the small number of seats they have, that might be that could be worth it.
That's a fair point.
In terms of Fine Gael, though, I think they also have the same amount of seats as what you call it? Not Labour. Fianna Fáil.
No, they have 1 more.
Oh, they have 1 more. Yeah. So if that's the case, then they could also go into government with Fine Gael, and I think we have seen in the past actually Fine Gael go into government with Labour, and the cameraman decided to crash out.
It's okay.
You won't be missed. No, I'm joking. Oh my god, Jesus!
Absolute
Okay.
jump scare there for our viewers. I really
Yeah.
want to go on.
But no. So as I was thinking, if Fine Gael have one more seat than not Labour, Jesus Christ, Fianna Fáil, like you mentioned, it could be more safer playing.
It would just be a slight majority. It would be a 1-seat majority.
Yeah, and it'd be a 1-seat majority. But I think also, I think the second largest party is it the Social Democrats? I can't really tell.
They're the second largest party. Yeah, they're the second largest.
I think we've seen in the past also Social Democrat and Labour administration. So
we're just getting breaking news in there. The border wall at Glasgow has been lit up in red with the words Labour victory, declaring Labour the winners, I suppose. So that is excellent news. We're obviously seeing these celebrations. That I presume they set that up after RT declared it for Labour. I think that's a pretty presumptive win. I'm just going to quickly move over to our panelists, Noah, because we're stuck on time. But I want to move over to Brian here. So I celebrated, Brian, the win with you and how many seats you got, and it had been historic. But I want to talk to you tonight about coalition options before we sign off. Is there any party you are willing to rule out of government? Say, no, we are not entering office with these people.
Absolutely not. We're open to everything provided that we believe that it will give a good deal for the Irish people.
That's a fair point to make. I want to move also over to Corbin here. I'm going to stand behind you ominously. Corbin, you've managed, I cannot believe this, your party has managed not since I want to say 2023 last year to win a general election, the sort. What do you make of this?
Honestly, tears of fucking joy. Being honest with you, this is absolutely amazing.
You're proposed Taoiseach, aren't you?
Yes, I am. Very true. I'm also proposed Minister of Business, but Taoiseach.
Yeah. Do you think that's a safe position in government? Do you think it might be traded away for a different party leader?
I can tell you. I mean, the talks haven't happened.
That's a fair point.
We do. Well, we don't. Oh my goodness. Sorry, I'm so excited.
Yeah.
We will deliver an active government. Absolutely. That is the key thing. We will deliver. Yeah. And honestly, brilliant night.
That's a fair
Absolutely
point.
Brilliant.
It has been a great night for you. I have to say, it has been a great. I don't know if people remember this, but I think it was in I want to say, was it 2004 or something, when Labour won? They had that really crappy exit poll graphic, or of the guy.
I've actually posted that.
Have you actually?
Yes. Yes.
Of the really horrible 3D Tony Blair walking up to Downing Street. That's basically what we've had tonight. Well, look, I'm going to sign off. Actually, no, I'm not going to sign off. Nicholas, is there something you want to say?
Sorry, excuse me, but was that the Fianna Fáil party is slightly disappointed. I can say that. And we are we didn't expect this result. We thought we would pick up seats in Dublin South. We thought we'd pick up seats in Dublin as a whole. And there will be further statements made in the next number of days in terms of in terms of going forward, in terms of going. How will Fianna Fáil position itself in the next term in the Dáil?
Yeah, that's a fair point to make. Look, this has been an absolutely extraordinary night for parties, but I just want to quickly cut to an ad break, if my producers would let that happen, just quickly while we organise some compiling of data and results. last time we just kind of had you read the tweets. Oh, okay, we're moving.
Wait, what?
Right, so for those of you still with us, Orty is quite ready to present our coverage of a victory speech by Labour leader Jessie Clark Moore. She arrived in Glasgow, I want to say half an hour ago, when we called it for Labour, and we're about to head over there as we pivot to her. There we go. Right, so I think we're still sorting out our coverage of the Glasgow speech. We're not quite there yet, but what we do know is that this is a seismic shift. This is a seismic shift in Irish politics. We can see Eugene over there, who cannot even help himself with the anticipation. He just has to go back to the turf. Eugene, stop. Eugene, for eating, not heating. For heating, not eating. Crap. I was joined here tonight by actually, I'm gonna have to kick Brian, the poor fella. He's still in the game. Everyone say bye, Brian. Right, that's it. The studio is empty now. Absolutely historic result. Ortiz is just going to wait around now until she arrives in Glasgow.
You ain't never gonna
Reporting live from Glasgow at the moment. We're looking at these absolutely seismic scenes here as we see supporters of Labour flip around, do their thing, you know. No. I'm hearing a bomb has been reported. Rumours looking of a bomb. That could be just right now. My God, an arrest is being made, and I believe that could potentially be the Fine Gael chairman, Michael Salisbury. Wow, I can't even see what's being said, but I can see Corbin Clark and Mr_Sunday there. Just off in the distance, their opponent is being arrested, and they are celebrating with a drink. Incredible scenes. I'm told any moment now that the Labour leader will be making a statement. You can see behind her podium there the results of the general election. Incredible. We're seeing the celebrations take place there just off stage. And we're seeing me being assaulted, and here's Jessie Clark ready to make her speech to the Irish people on her election win, just there on the stage. And there's been a shootout here in Glasgow. I believe the Labour leader is receiving urgent medical care and assistance on stage there. As you can see.
And to talk like me, and be an angel too. But maybe you ain't never gonna feel this way. You ain't never gonna know me. But I know you.
And there we have it. Her speech has concluded, and with that, members of Corbin Clark and Mr. Sunday presumably leaving the stage. Remarking on the seismic shift in Irish politics and of course the wave of change. That has been it for our coverage of election night this evening. If you have been affected by anything that has been broadcast, then file a report. That has been our coverage of election night and our coverage of Labour leader Jessie Clark's victory speech. We done there? We're all wrapped up now, yeah?